Hey everyone, and welcome back to episode 11 of Motorsport Manager, the Underdog Challenge. We have now officially started Season 2 in last episode, where we got an amazing first result. We got place 6 overall, mainly due to Jay Coburn here, getting us 15 points. Bieland unfortunately had a bit of a worse race. We had to repair some expensive time-wise parts that definitely cost us a few slots. But yeah, with a 6th place for Coburn and a 6th place overall, we are definitely not complaining. That also edged us ever so closely to that 90% holy mark for marketability. We of course can't get tier 5 sponsors yet because we don't have a helipad yet where the sponsors need to land, but that one is under construction and almost halfway done. So I think in 1 or 2 episodes we can definitely get ourselves up to that level 5 tier if we do decently in the races, that is, or we get some nice event. We'll see what happens. In the meantime, I've made sure that our pit crew is up to snuff, and the car is being repaired right now after the last race, so there isn't much to be done there. We are building a new brake set already. Right now we are in 7th with our current brakes, so that is not too bad for a car of our stature. Unfortunately, our gearbox and suspension are still rather bad, so that will be something we have to look at still. Let's quickly have this interview. You attempted a quick pit stop for Bieland during the last race, but it resulted in a mistake. Your very own chairman criticized the move, saying that motorsport isn't the place for gambling. I don't think any of these give you marketability, I'm pretty sure. This one might just make the driver or the chairman angry. I think this one makes the chairman more happy. So we'll just say this one is already happy. And that reminds me, now that we have run our first race and our chairman is incredibly happy with us, we should actually be asking for some more funding. We did that last season too, immediately after the first race, and I would definitely just want this quick 1.5 million. So, sorry Darren, but we are going to get a little bit more money out of you. Obviously, he doesn't like that so much, but with all the positive mood buffs that we've had lately, we can definitely take this and still be in the secure tab. Let's look at the budget for next year's car. Yeah, this is sort of just a reminder for yourself. If you put more money away now, then at the very least you'll be able to do more at the end of the season. But we're going to keep it on cheap here, just to keep our race income as high as possible and make as much money early on as we can. Let's have a look once our car is finished. Oh, it's actually the brakes that finished first. Interesting. How do those brakes shape up versus our current brakes? Much higher. But that is also because we put some dangerous parts in there. As you can see, the risk of rule break is medium. We are not going to be running these brakes at all this season. We'll just be using them basically to give ourselves an advantage next season. Now we can check because, like I said before, if we put these on, we'll actually see how good we are as opposed to the other teams. Right now we're in 7th without putting on the good brakes. If we were to fit the brakes now, let's say on your car, where would we be? All of a sudden now we're in 5th. So that is a jump up by 2 spots. Very nice. And we're not done building brakes yet. So I think we can put ourselves in a very nice position next season. Let's have a quick look at the brakes again. I think this is what we still wanted to build, but we don't have the brakes R&D facility level 1 yet. Yeah, I do think we'll wait. No, we don't have it yet because we didn't want to buy it. It's 8 million, I think, which is a lot of money early on. We could start building it and just go into debt a little bit, as we'll get it back soon enough. But I would also really like to already start working on some other parts. Probably immediately make them illegal. As you can see, we have some really good illegal parts coming up already. And by the time that these are done, I'm hoping that also the buildings for the gearbox and suspension are done already. And then we can immediately start also on the great component tiers. So I think we will actually not build another brake set. At the very least for now, we might do one more during the season. Anyway, it will be illegal. We'll probably do something like this, maybe. Actually, that is a pretty good brake set. That is not bad at all. There goes the 300. What do we currently have? Let's skip a little bit so I can see when the car is actually finished. We can get this one to 185. Yeah, that is a full upgrade of like 120 points. That is very valuable. And the brakes are so cheap that I quite like doing them right now. If we did the gearbox anyway, we're going to make them illegal parts. Same for the suspension, I think. Yeah. So we won't be using any of these parts this season anyway, so it doesn't matter so much in which order we do them. Let's pick the cheapest option for now then. As we won't be doing any of these anyway. We won't buy the building yet for 8 million. As I want to use all that money for parts and or other buildings. So let's do this, this, and this. I think that's fine. Yeah, we'll get a very good break out of this once we've tuned the performance on it. That should be okay. All right, then now that car repair is done, let's have a look at what we are doing in terms of repairs and reliability work. I think we will... Basically, we are going to run on these parts for the rest of the season. I don't think we'll be doing much performance tuning on them because that will actually be spent on the parts that we are going to use next season, such as this one. Not with 20 of our staff. We'll be working on the reliability of our parts. I think for now we'll do still these, the gearbox and the suspension, up until it's about at 80%. And then we might have a look at our engine, because engine is one of the most important parts to keep on high. I think last race we had a problem with either the gearbox or the suspension for Bieland, and that's why he finished so poorly. So for now, let's keep it on this. This is definitely not high enough yet to race comfortably, as we're in the low 60s. So let's keep it on that for a little while and see where that gets us. Now, we aren't getting any sponsors yet before this race is done. I think we will have one more race on one of them, two of them actually. So that's very nice. Especially this one opening up is very nice, as generally the fixed payment sponsors are much more lucrative early on, as right now the race bonus ones are a bit hard to get for us. Yeah, a lot of these are going to be a while still though. The earliest ones after this will be after 5 races, so that is halfway into the season. So we will be strapped for cash a little while, besides with what we get from the races, of course. See, how are these parts looking now? Still not in the 80s. I would like to wait for a little while longer. And then we work on the engine, and we'll leave the brakes as is. I know that means that we have to repair them basically guaranteed during the race, but like we've said many times, that is not the end of the world for brakes, as it goes so quick. Once more, refresh. Let's do one more day, I'd say. And that is our brake set now done. Perfect. So now we have 2 very good brake sets. I don't think we'll make another brake set. Especially considering we are not going to actually build the next tier of brakes in terms of component. The great available knowledge we don't have yet. I don't think we'll make another set. I don't see this being too... Oh, we can't even do that actually. Huh. You actually do have to unlock the building. So that's fine. So we are officially done with brakes for the rest of the season. Perfect. And if we were to fit these parts now, without even having them performance tuned yet, we would be in still 5th. Okay. Interesting. That means the top 4 is actually... Oh, sorry. I didn't put you on. That makes sense. Still 5th, even when we put it on. Okay. So that means that probably the top 4 actually has some really good brakes in terms of stats. We will need to fight for that for a while still, but maybe that changes a bit once we've performance improved them, as we still have quite some points to gain on both sets of brakes. So we'll see. You are still in 80. Let's go for like 1 or 2 more days maybe. Ooh, a possible improvement to brakes. That is very interesting. Some of our guys had a great idea about the brakes. I won't bore you with the details, but if we were to re-engineer the electronics, we'd get some seriously good performance out of it. So we could improve our brake performance by 30 across the board for a 400,000 penalty. That is very interesting. Right now we're in 7th, so that 30 is not going to do too much for us right now, I think. But getting another 10% on this one, basically, flat out, is very appealing to me. And for 400,000, it seems like kind of a steal, so let's just do it. It's not even 400,000 because of our financial background, of course. We get that 5% bonus. And as you can see, we now just got a flat out 30% or a 30-point buff. We're still in 7th, but we are looking very close now, actually. Wow. If we were to fit both of these, then we're actually up a spot, so that it seems very well worth it. And we are still going to, like I said, improve these parts. So I think we can secure maybe even like a 3rd or 2nd spot if we're lucky for next season. Well, obviously the teams are going to improve their cars as well during the season, so we'll have to see what happens. Now, are we going to build a gearbox or a suspension first? Gearbox is more expensive, but is also more important. We'll definitely pick this part first. I'm actually thinking perhaps we do this first, and we'll actually use our first set of... Yeah, we'll use the first gearbox, and then we will make sure that the next 2 parts are really good. And those we'll use for next season. Anyway, I think the one we make now, we won't be bringing it to our next season, so we might as well, honestly. Because either way, I think we get the base will always be on the current season's part. Yeah, 148. That was the best part we brought along for the brakes last season, as you can tell. That was the original brake, let's say. So no matter what you do, that doesn't change. So since the base doesn't change, let's just take this, actually. This doesn't do too much for us, I think. Gives us a little bit less build time. I'd rather have the less red zone and we'll actually use this brake. So we'll get a nifty little plus 13 boost. And we can also still improve this one to get a little bit more performance out of this part for this season. Yeah, we'll actually use this set. And then we'll make 2 very good parts once our telemetry center is done, which will be very soon. And let's go for one more day and then pick what we do with our reliability. I think we'll work exclusively on the engines for the last little bit before the race. Yeah, these are right around 80 now. I'm happy enough with that. Let's take them off. And let's invest it in our engines and maybe also the brakes. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay. That seems good. Okay, our helipad is done now, so let's have a look at that. Looks very nice. All ready for the fancy sponsors that will be coming in at some point. Not yet, but as you can see now that that is done, this star has opened up. We don't have it yet because it opens up after 90%. So we do need to find a little bit more marketability, which will have to come from our team's marketability, not so much the drivers. So we'll see. Munich will be a 29 lap race, 40% chance of rain. That is quite a long race, actually. Interesting. And the corners are mainly average speed, so a good suspension is vital. That means probably this race won't be much in our favor. We would all benefit hugely from a dedicated area within the HQ to aid our development. A staff center would give us a place to stay overnight. I don't want you guys working overtime too much, so don't worry about that. No, we just don't want to spend money on a staff center. We are cheap right now. Oh, interesting. Bjorn here is going for a modeling tryout, but I'm afraid that is on the wrong driver. I think you were already at 100%. I think you're the one at 95. No, you are not, actually. Ooh, that gets us very close to the 90% mark. That gave us like a little 1.5% upgrade or something like that. How long does it stay for? 20 weeks. Okay, that might be quite nice. Meanwhile, Joan Coburn also had something happen. She was caught speeding by over 42 miles per hour. But all it does is give her a little bit more marketability. She doesn't even seem to have to pay a fine. With all due respect, Your Honor, I'm able to control my car at high speeds, protested the 22-year-old when she was dragged before the magistrates earlier today. That is really funny. The judge, needless to say, disagreed. All right, well, interesting. Somehow that actually gave us more of a of a marketability boost instead of less. Cool. How much did we get our engines up? A little bit, and even our brakes aren't looking too bad anymore. We might not even need to repair them, but we'll see what happens. All our parts are looking really good now, so bar some really weird issues, we should be fine. And we are going to be picking the 13th or above sponsor. As you can tell, even if we, with our very good result last race, had picked Condor, we still wouldn't have gotten the 800,000. So this just seems fine. All right, and into Munich we go with a beautiful foresty map. Let's see. Yeah, it is quite a long race, 29 laps, so I think we might want to do softs or mediums, whatever we get as the longer lasting tire. Let's pick the two drivers with the best feedback rating, and it is raining for the first laps at least, so let's put you on inters. But I would like to already see what slicks we will be most likely using. Let's put you as always near the edge. Yes, that looks fine. Softs versus mediums. Ooh, that's a tough one. With 29 laps, we could basically do medium, medium, soft, or soft, medium, medium. There is a chance of rain, so I think I would like to start on softs and then we go to mediums after that. And with the softs incoming, we should also sort of have a general idea of whether rain will be coming during the race as well or not. We don't have the forecasting center yet, so that doesn't play into our hands, but let's see. Theoretically, I guess we could make 2 sets of softs work. That might also be better for the rain, so we'll have a look. Anyway, for now we need to do intermediate, so it doesn't matter too much, but we might actually try and make 2 sets of softs work and then 1 set of mediums, also depending on the fuel level we'll be getting. I imagine it'll be something like 12 or 13 laps worth of fuel. So, before running out of the time clock, let's actually send our drivers out. Excuse me? Never seen that before. Apparently we put Coburn in both of our cars. You are doing something I've never seen before in my life, Coburn. You are one of the greatest drivers of all time if you actually make this work. Somehow she is driving both cars. Okay. That is really interesting. I wonder now if we also get her feedback rating, which is better, I think, than Bjelland's on both cars. I've never seen that bug before. That is very interesting. I have no clue how I did that. Or whether the game did it or something, or I messed something up, but we'll take it, I guess, since she is the better driver. Alright. 2 drivers, 1... or 2 cars, 1 driver, basically. We are going to be switching... I think we'll just try soft. Yeah. Let's see if we can make the softest compound work. And meanwhile, our magician driver, Coburn, doing her amazing 2-car trick, has come back both times now. Put you something like this, and this we want right back where it was. Cool. And same for you. Well, I say for you, but again for you. Let's get out of here. This is so funny to me. Never seen this anywhere before, also not in other videos or other streams of people playing this game. That is such a weird bug. Let's just say that she's very good at driving multiple cars. She's very flexible in her car usage. Let's put you right back where you were. You're looking very good now, but I would like to see if we can maybe get this... Well, actually, let's just use this setup and try and get as much knowledge as possible for the rest of the race. Really get those softs to a good level. And again, for you, I would love to see actually if your driver form is also the same. Let's see when we go out of this menu again. We're okay here. We were very poor there, so let's go a little bit more this way. Let's say like here. And your handling went from poor to good. I think also a little bit more towards this way. Put it like here, and you should just go back. Okay. Yeah, your driver form is exactly the same. The game just sees you as the same entity. Okay. Well, no clue how I did that, but it is very interesting, to say the least. Never seen that before. You actually went worse on your handling, so we were right here. I need to put you a little bit back. Say like here. Maybe. A little bit less. Right there. It's probably sort of the sweet spot. Yeah, that should be okay. Alright, and you go out again. And let's see what that does. And she's actually talking now with I'm loving the handling, I think, for this car, where she's already out. Very interesting. Okay. I guess let's bring you in again, because you're not gonna get much more knowledge from the softs. And let's try and put you on wet. That is the correct tire for now. Doesn't matter so much anymore since we're putting you out immediately. We got a 98%, which is very good. You went to good on your... Oh yeah, we didn't change you. That's right. Let's also put you on wets and you go have a fun little lap. Good luck. Coburn has beaten Coburn with her lap times greatly. Looks like she didn't even get a time with this one, I think. This is incredibly strange to me. Yeah, they didn't even give her a time because she was in both cars at the same time, but she did very well at least on that set of softs. This is so freaky. If a ghost driver. Yeah, it feels like I got a pretty decent setup figured out. You should have with 2 chances basically. You got double the amount of chances that anyone else did on the grid. That is so funny. I think since our engines are now like to 80 or like 90%, we don't need the perk anymore that gives more engine mode. Doesn't actually hurt your tire or your engine. We get 12 laps of fuel. We could do like, let's say about 9 laps on the softs. I think we will be going for softs first and try and maintain some position. And then we'll see what the rain starts doing, or if it even shows up at all. At worst, we'll have to do soft, medium, medium. At best, we could do soft, soft, medium, I think. So let's start out with softs regardless. We could give a little bit less fuel to work with. Make the car a little bit lighter. If we say we're going to make this work for 9 laps, then we need... yeah, almost 3 extra laps of fuel if we're going to run overtake mode almost the entire time. So I think this is okay for now. 12 laps of fuel. We'll just burn through fuel very aggressively, as our engines should be able to handle that. We've been able to get our engines to a higher level much earlier in the season, thanks to the spec engine part. So almost everyone shouldn't really have engine troubles. The main issue should come from the gearbox, I think. As that is not a spec part and most people wouldn't have upgraded it to a sufficiently reliable level yet, I think. Coburn doesn't get off the mark too great, but Bjelland actually does, and this time he actually gets to drive his own car, it seems. He went from, I think, 3rd to 1st, so a very good start from him. Going past Gerard and Dembele, who are each not bad drivers, I think. I'm not sure, actually. Maybe I'm confusing Gerard with someone else. I think I might be. Yeah, I'm not sure. And he is battling Gerard still. You go, Bjelland. Go get him. I'm not sure who we will be lowering the I guess we will lower them on Coburn, as Bjelland actually has something to fight for, where she is just stuck horribly in traffic against drivers that are better than her and have a better car. So let's bring you back already, I think. We could give you still some engine power. I just want to conserve your tires, basically. Because in terms of fuel, both of you will just have to pit regardless very soon. That doesn't matter too much. It's more about how long can your tires actually last. So far no rain yet after pretty much a full lap, and you did get overtaken by Gerard. That was expected. Let's see how long we can at least hold on to second. Let's see. Your tire temperature is going up rather drastically. Start bringing that back a little bit now as well. You are sort of holding on. At least you're not dead last yet. And we are conserving your tires more than most people ahead of you, at least. The engines are both looking fine. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. Then for now, you just stay in traffic, and you are still doing quite well. Not bad at all. Let's keep burning through the fuel. Let's keep sort of burning through your tires. Eventually, we might even make a decision that you, for example, do 2 stints on mediums, and you do 2 on soft. I'm not sure yet. Really also depends on whether we see any rain. Doesn't look like it so far. Alright, Gerard is really driving away with the competition. I think he crashed in the first race of the season. But normally he would be way further back on the grid, because there's an inverse grid in the European Racing Series. So if you're first in the championship, you start last, basically. Which is really hard for drivers to deal with, of course. But it makes for exciting races. But that means basically, yeah, normally he would have to start almost at the back, because he always does pretty well, I think. But now he doesn't have that luxury. Let's bring your temperature down a little bit. Yeah. You are definitely pretty much have the worst tires out on the track now. I don't mind running you guys on overtake still for a while, I think. It's really not too bad. Would you bring your temperature up a little bit again? And for you, I think. We don't need to last your tires for much longer. Well, I don't want to ruin them too much, actually. Still dry as a whistle. It really doesn't look like it's going to rain anytime soon at all. Might just have a dry race completely. How much longer do we want to have our drivers out? Let's have a look once they pass the finish line. You are sort of getting hunted now by third, and your tires are degrading rather quickly, so that makes sense. I think our tires should last for let's say 3 more laps with you, maximum. And we might even have to conserve them a little bit to get that out of it. So in terms of fuel, you're completely fine. For you, I would like to do 4 more laps. That means you should be able to run on red for the rest of it. Okay, so we're doing 3 and 4. That seems rather good. And that means for sure for you, we can do another stint on softs. For you, we'll have to do some quick maths, I think. Either way, for both of you, we're going to be running you on red till the end of your stint. Yeah, for sure. Let's see, we have about 20% left to work with before your cliff drops off, as that is at 10%, so that should be fine. I think you should be okay to run out till the end of the stint. Yeah, your tires are really getting down there though. Let's put them on conserve for a tiny bit. You need to be doing 3 more laps. Oh, actually, we burned through your fuel too quick. Oof. No, we're fine. Yeah, we can just run red, actually. What am I saying? Because you need to do 2 more laps, and you are going to do 1 more lap after this. That's perfectly fine, I think. You're going to get overtaken now, but that's fine. That's expected with your tires being as bad as they are. Let's conserve them for a little bit. Same for you, as I really don't want to be rushing them too hard. Since you need to do 2 more laps, let's bring you down to orange now, and then you should be able to run out. the race, and you are going to pit now. After this, I think your tires should just about hold up. We have 22 laps remaining. We should be fine to do... No, not really. Because we'll have 21 laps. Let's say we do 9 on the soft. We might just make it. Because we could do 12 theoretically on the last medium stint. I think we'll do that. And we'll just run our engine really hot. Make sure you do high, just so we get the roundup bonus on the fuel. I think we'll try to do double soft strategy on both our drivers. And we'll just run our engine really hot, as that should be okay. It's still at 78%. Brakes are looking completely fine. Barely got any wear and tear on those. Do we do this? I think we do. Yeah, we run for about 10 laps on these softs if we play our cards right. Or sorry, 9 laps. And then the last stint we do on mediums. And as always, we do a fast pit stop. Okay. That should work, I think. I hope. Your temperature is getting down there a little bit. You need to be careful of that. Yeah, you need to push them up a little bit. It's not looking too good on your... You might actually hit your cliff. But we can't really not push your temperature right now. It needs to be up a little bit more. Yeah, we might have mistimed this one a little bit. Should have maybe conserved our tires a little bit better. I think you should be just about fine now. Yeah, you're definitely going to hit your cliff. That sucked. And let's put you on overtake like we said. But it should only be for the last like little bit of the race, I think. Or of the stint. Basically one corner. Yeah, now she's hitting her cliff. You can tell how much speed she's losing. But it was basically for the last like 100 meters, so I think that's okay. And we'll definitely do another set of softs. Yeah, for sure, soft. We'll have 19 laps, so let's say we do 9 also on these softs. And we should just about make it. And as always, we'll run your engine very hot too. Okay. This should be just about okay. Yeah, we lost a little bit there. But, yeah. It is what it is. You are doing rather fine. Right? Still in 17th. So, someone else also pitted behind us. They're doing mediums. Let's also push you on overtake. 73% versus 70%. Might ease off on the fuel use at some point. Yeah. I think some people are doing double mediums, which I don't think is the greatest choice, but let's see. So far it's working out for them, I guess, since they're ahead of Coburn still. But she also, yeah, we mistimed her tires a little bit, and she was already in a rather bad spot from before. Let's really push you. I know we want to preserve the tires a little bit, but I was trying to see if we could get out ahead of anyone. Doesn't look like it though. Oh, actually yes. Nice. Okay, let's do more spots for Bjelland. And he can really try and hunt and try to undercut all these people. Well, it's not really an undercut because we were ahead of them to begin with, before we pitted. But we would like to stay out ahead of them once they do pit. Let's see how that goes. You are doing fine. Your engine is doing fine. You don't have a great spot though. Yeah. Really mismanaged the tires a bit on Coburn. But once we committed, anyway, we couldn't bring her in before Bjelland. And we're sort of banking on one of our drivers at least doing rather well and trying to get that sponsor objective. So, yeah, unfortunate timing, but it is what it is. I think we are going to be getting out ahead of quite basically this entire group, I think. That is not too bad at all. We lost some spots after the pits, but that is, I think, a bit expected. Problem is we are going to have to do our last stint on mediums. So Bjelland will be losing a rather large amount of time on those. We got a little bit of space with Coburn, and she is on softs, so hopefully she can hunt some people down. How is our tire situation looking? Decent. We need to last at least until, let's say, lap 17, I think. 17 or 18. So we have some ways to go still on these tires. Which is why we're using mainly our engine power and not really our tire power. I'll give her a little bit of... She's sort of entering traffic. Want her to get the clean overtake. Nice. And yeah, we really want to make these softs last and sort of just use their base power, I think, to get some time advantage. Problem is we are now on much older tires than everyone else, basically, as we really ran them very aggressively. So our advantage is going to drop off rather quickly, as softs, the softer the tire, the bigger their penalty is once they start getting a bit, let's say, old. Let's see. We should be doing about 4 more laps of you, I think. Oh, Coburn is quite... Feels so good to get past Rogers like that. Just seconds taken before disaster. Alright, Coburn. This has not been your weekend. First you duplicate yourself, and now you decide to just headbutt this wall. Or at least you hit the tire wall there. Well, I'm sure that felt good for a second. You actually went to 14th, I guess, getting ahead of Rogers, and then immediately crashed yourself. Ugh. Alright, well, whatever. That means we can now fully focus on the guy that was ahead of everyone. Let's make sure our strategy for Bieland works out then. We are still in 5th with him. His engine is still looking fine. Yeah, great, thanks. What is our optimal timing? Because if we were to pit now, we'd have 15 laps left. We need to do at least 3 more laps then to make it to 12. Our mediums should easily bring us to 12. That should be fine. The main issue is then fuel. We wouldn't be able to give him any power whatsoever, as the maximum fuel is 12. So ideally, I guess we'd want to bring him in with 11 laps to go, and then sort of be able to run on orange at least for a while. But I'm not sure we have 3 more laps in us, or 4 more laps. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. With the level that our tires are at. Let's run on red for a little while longer and see where we are at once we cross the finish. We're definitely going to lose to Jon Sotier. For sure. We have 39%. We're also getting our tires rather cold. Theoretically, we could do at least 3 more laps. Well, we could do 4 more laps if we went into low engine mode, but I don't think that's a good idea at all. If we were to pit right now, we'd have 14 laps to go. We need to do at least 2 more laps then. Question is, do we do 2 or 3 more laps? I think if we sort of conserve our tires for a little bit, we could try and do 3. Push on the red engine mode at least for a little while longer to burn all that fuel. Yeah, we are getting overtaken by you rather soon, but that's fine. We don't care so much for that spot. Yeah, you don't really need to be fighting this. At least make sure you don't crash in the same corner as Coburn, please. Oh, someone ran wide. Okay, interesting. Yeah, we do need to bring your tires now to yellow. We don't want to destroy them. Do we do 2 more laps here? I think we try. But let's see where our tires are at the end of this lap. We can do at least 1 more lap on red. And let's bring that back to high now. I think theoretically we could make it work. As we might have like the last turn or something on the... Well, we just committed anyway because I just passed the pit lane, so let's just commit. That means, yeah, next lap we are going to be pitting, and let's hope we can make this work. I think at most we'll have like 1 corner of the cliff, so I think that's fine. yeah, your tires are getting cold, but that's okay. I think we timed it out pretty perfectly. Nice. All right, then we have 11 laps remaining. We have to get our last stint on mediums, but we can push them a little bit. We'll give them all the fuel we can and basically get that orange level of fuel. I don't think we'll be repairing anything. We could theoretically pick this one, but I think it should be okay for 10 more laps. Yeah, all parts are sort of looking same except the brakes, I guess, but even if it doesn't cost anything, it could cost a mistake. Well, no, let's just not do it. I don't want a mistake during the repair or anything like that, so let's just try and get this done this way. And if we do have to do another pit, that is the way to... Oh, come on. Don't make any mistake. Oh, come on. I promise, off camera, I made the pit crew have 0% mistake chance on all of them. So 2 mistakes in one thing. This is just a disaster weekend for us now. Let's push the tires a bit. Let's push the engine a bit. But this is pretty infuriating. That cost us a good 5 full seconds, if not more. Whew. That is unfortunate. Why isn't it saying that we have excess fuel? Wait, we have 11, 12. Oh, we actually don't have excess fuel. Now it's 11 laps remaining. Okay, I miscounted that, or didn't have a good look, I guess, at the counter. That means we basically barely made it. Huh. Okay, that also means we can't be pushing our tires too much. We actually did have 12 laps to go. Yeah, with that double mistake, I'm not really expecting us to do too well anymore. We must have lost quite a few spaces from that. We were doing really well, but yeah, that's not looking too good. That is a shame. And we also can't really give it any engine or tire power now. So basically we are just going to be running out the race now. So we'll just put it on plus 12 times 12 and see where that gets us. We're fighting Dembele, it looks like. We can, at the very least, I think, do a little bit of high. He has a mechanical issue, so good luck with that then. You are not going to be overtaking us this race anymore. That is very nice. Yeah, now there goes your excess fuel again, so let's put you back to medium. Yeah, a lot of people are now finally going for their last stint on soft, so I don't think we'll be getting out ahead of many of those. A few people do need to repair some parts, so that can be very good for us. Yeah, we are going to be overtaking at least one of them and just get just about ahead of the other two. But yeah, they have much fresher tires than us, of course. Right now we are within the sponsor objective, but we only have 2 more people ready to pit, and I'm not sure we're going to get out ahead of either of one. If one person really close, yeah, 2 people really close behind us. Chu isn't on such fresh tires though. Our tires are actually better than his. That is interesting. Let's put you on orange for a little while. As I think we should make both our tires and our engine last fine. Brakes are looking okay too. Let's push for a little while longer. We did overtake 2 people pitting. Nice. Okay, so we got both of them, and Leclerc retired. Okay, that gives us a better gap at least, but there is a lot of people behind us. Need to put you back on the normal fuel level again. And let's push our tires for a little while. As you can basically run the mediums down to almost nothing, so that is nice. Yeah, we are losing spots now already though, to people that just have more power and tires than us. You do have another mechanical issue, and there is quite some laps to go, so maybe we get lucky. But yeah, basically we should have been somewhere around 8th or 7th. Instead we're stuck in all this traffic because our pit crew decided when it rains it pours. A crash is not enough. Our remaining racer is also going to get some horrible pitting mistakes. That is a disaster class, to be honest. First a rear jack and then a wheel didn't go right, so I guess this is where the fast pit stop can really screw you a bit. But I still think on average a fast pit stop pretty much always is worth it. Just that in times like this it's rather frustrating, of course. Yeah, we do need to get the temperature of these tires a little bit up. 4 more laps on 40% should just about work, I think. But it is getting rather close. Do have not so much space anymore between us and the non-sponsor objective, so that sucks a little bit. And we really can't be giving out pretty much any resources to Bieland at all. We don't have the fuel or the tire situation for him, basically. Yeah, let's see what we can do. Yeah, I know your tire wear is looking pretty bad. We have 2 more laps to go. That means we can sort of push your tires for a little bit. I think we are going to get ahead of Tom Burke, who finally did have to pit. That was the guy I think that had the engine issue a while ago already. That is very good news for us at the very least. That means we're kind of just fighting this guy, Rogers, who is also on softs that are about to drop off rather severely. I think we should be able to make it work then, as long as we pay close attention to our fuel. And let's keep our tires on neutral, as we really need them to last for at least one more decent lap. Fuel is still fine. Looks like we might actually be able to run out on orange. Nice, okay. And let's keep pushing the tires a little bit as well. Would be nice to keep 12th, I guess, as Chu is also sort of through his tires. Yeah. We should be able to defend against him, I think. And Valdez, well, he has a mechanical issue, but it doesn't look like it's impeding him too much. So I think we will be finishing on our sponsor objective, which is very nice. Keep going for a little while. See if we can keep that 13th spot at least. I don't think we're challenging 11th. Not with the power that we have. Let's bring you back. I think you should be able to just get right about across with 0 fuel. Yeah, there you go. We timed that pretty perfectly. I think if we look now at the times, we could have at least finished, well, 11 basically. There is quite a gap between these guys. Yeah, I think in the end the pit mistake actually only cost us about 5-6 seconds. We were in traffic immediately because of it, so maybe that was a little bit of an annoyance, but yeah, shame of course about our crash, but we got our sponsor objective, so monetarily we did fine. This is obviously not ideal, Coburn, but at least next race she'll now be able to start much further up the grid, because she'll be losing quite some spots from her 6th spot earlier. We get our nice little cash bonus at the very least, and some points for Bieland. Not too bad, all in all, I'd say, but it probably won't be, yeah, we did quite poorly, of course, now. So I don't think we'll be getting any bonus to our team's marketability, which is, I think, the main loss from that crash, to be honest. But you never know. Maybe we finished in 9th somehow. Probably not. Let's see. No, that was a 10th, of course. Yeah, with one driver just not finishing at all. Shame. Also costs you a little bit of morale, but yeah, that's just on you, honestly. You don't even, like, your focus stat is not that bad, so quite surprising, to be honest, but it is what it is. This is, of course, going to happen a few times during the season. We are making a lot of money, at least. We get almost 2 million for completing this race from all our payments from the pay drivers and whatever else, of course, and now we have finally also opened up some sponsor slots, I think. Our newest gearbox was just built, as you saw there, and I think we will be using it, as it should be a tiny bit better, and it has a lesser red zone. That is the component we put on there, as all the other options were basically bad. I don't think we'll be investing in improving this gearbox unless we really have all the time in the world, but we will be using it, I think, just for the red zone part. Though for now, the reliability is better on the other bits, so we'll see. We can at least invest now in another gearbox, and like I said, we will be immediately going for an illegal gearbox, and probably this one, because we don't care for the plus 40 or the plus 35. And yeah, looks like for the last one, the last gearbox that we'll be building, we'll actually go for another good part, because these are rather crappy. This could work during your regular season if you're actually going to use it, but these two are not so good. Probably do this one and then leave it at that. We might make a third gearbox if we really want, but I'm doubting that that is worth the cost. Let's immediately start working on this one now. Once our cars are into fighting shape in terms of reliability, I only want to do, let's say, one more race of reliability improving. And then we will be working almost exclusively on preparing the performance of our parts for next season. Last season, I made that mistake of starting that way too late, but we were also making parts rather late into the season. This time we've, of course, started way earlier. We have a lot of races still to go, I think 9 in total. So I want to make sure that this time we don't make that same mistake. All right, well, one of you, I think it was you, Rodriguez, you definitely made that mistake. And I promise he was at 0 before. So that is rather annoying. Let's swap you out. The rear jack also made a mistake, but you're only at 0.1. So that is fine for now, I'd say. Put you in. We could try and swap you out. Maybe for you. You're a little bit worse, but that is okay. And you are at 0.3 actually. Let's get you out of here too. For, I guess, you. Let's see if there's anyone interesting to hire. I guess you're a good rear jacker, but everything else is rather meh. Who could we replace you with? I guess you were rather bad, so yeah, let's replace you. And that means we can actually put you maybe in immediately. Yeah, that's okay. You go on the rear jacks. Everything else will get rejected. And that should be okay. Like I said, we will now have 2 open sponsor slots and only 4 more races for the next 2. So we've spaced these out rather nicely. Unfortunately, we just about didn't get to 90%. We are very close. I think if we'd gotten a better result this race, we would have been there, thanks to the little buff that I think Coburn got. But that wasn't in our control, of course, as Coburn also decided to just crash in the race. That is a shame. That means both of our drivers are rather closely to each other now. We are still in 9th spot. I would love to challenge for a non-10th spot, at least this season. Maybe we are still in the fight, I guess, for at least 7th. Looking at the points. We would have done, I think, way better this race as long as Coburn didn't crash. She was really fighting already for 14th. Could have maybe done a little bit more and then done her last bit on the mediums. Didn't work out that way, of course, but that is what it is. It's not so bad. I think that is a good time to wrap this episode up. I want to thank you all once again for watching and see you in the next one.